Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Come on in, everybody. Welcome back to the Plants Goldzilla Walk cycle deal here. What I'm doing, what I've done here is this is Adobe Animate Flash Replay or Flash Player, and it's just playing, you know, the frames out that we put in last time. And so, what I feel is really helpful is to do a quick analysis of what we're doing and how to get through it. And so, what I have here is some basic questions, some basic planning questions. Um, First of all, we state the goal. What are we doing? We're making Goldzilla walk from the left side of the screen to the right. Pretty simple. Um, Easy to understand. We want him to go left side of the screen, right side of the screen. Okay, we plan a process and or a formula, a way of doing things. And our process and our formula was to create the frames, and those frames are the contacts doing things. And our process and our formula was to create the frames, and those frames are the contacts. Where the feet contact, or we hit down. The right foot is down, the weight is down. The passing frame where the knee is should be passing. And if we're doing human anatomy, that it would make a lot more sense when we're doing actual just human anatomy. And then the up, where the weight is about to go up, the weight of the whole body is about to go up using like pressing down from the feet. Okay, so then we've planned that out. We know what we're going to do. That's going to be aligned with our goal and the process of building it. We're gonna in this one we're using Adobe Animate with layers. So we got to have those layers. We got to organize everything that way with layers. And then during the building process, we're going to check for errors. We're going to see, all right, is everything look normal? Does everything look fine? And the thing we found with the errors was the feet are just too large, and that error caused what that error caused was he was unable to bend correctly upon contacting with the ground. And if you've ever tried to walk in shoes that don't quite bend, then you have some trouble with that. So that's one of the errors that we you know uh, came across during the building process and with the formula that we have. And really, that's just part of the building process. That's part of you know the design of it. So then this was an easy one to research a solution. Well, how do we fix that? We know that's the error. How do we fix it? We create toes for bending the foot for whenever he has to contact. All right, so I mean that makes sense. But during execution of the project, it's really just it's like more work than you planned for, more work than I've planned for. And so now I realize, okay, we got to go back and recreate that and then put that together. And then we test a solution. And then testing solution again is, adding the feet in the main keyframes and clean it up and let it go on out. If we have time, there's another to follow up on the research solution part. What I find will help is to ask, does the solution meet the basic needs? I mean, that should be a given, right? But sometimes you might find a solution that's like a what do they call it? Like a scotch tape, a band-aid solution, people call it. Some people might call it a band-aid solution. They might be like, well, this will get you down the road, but that's about as far as it'll get you. This solution will get it to pass, but it won't really last very long. So I mean, you can have a solution to something, um, but that doesn't mean that it's a durable way of doing stuff. And you find that in technology, and you'll probably find that a lot in art and art technology. So that's good to always ask that when you come up with a solution to something like that. And then for future projects, we want to say, well, are there technologies Are there technologies that can provide a better quality? And so that's always cool to think about. It's like, well, right now I'm using Adobe Flash. I mean, obviously, if we did this in 3D modeling, that would look freaking amazing, right? Uh, so the answer, it's an easy yes. But is that feasible? That's another question. Um, so maybe really with the technology that we're using right now, what tasks can be done to prepare for faster building? What could I do? What could be done in the future that will prepare for? All right, I got like an hour to put this together. What do I need to do, or what should I have done in preparation um, to that hour? So it's like, well, you have more than just 1 hour of production. You've got like maybe 3 hours in preparation um, to that hour. So it's like, well, you have more than just 1 hour of production. You've got like maybe 3 hours of preparation before the actual production, and that could be a case, or that could be a thing in some cases. And the last question: what could have been done to prevent the current problem? So part of that is the building speed, but also what could have I done to prevent the current problem? We already know that's the solution, and that could have also been preparing for faster building. But really, what it is, it's the solution is creating the feet, the feet of the problem. So create the lack of the feet of the problem. So create the feet um, beforehand. And so once again, state the goal. Make Goldzilla walk from left side of the screen spread. Okay. We have our process. We have a contact down, passing and up. And defining those, you're going to see, well, where does the toe go? Um, on the contact, on the down, on the passing, and on the up. They've all got different locations. Right foot heel on the ground, forefoot in the air. The left foot, the forefoot is on the ground and the heel is in the air. On the down, so they're all going to have different logics to them. So let's go over to what we have, and let's see. Once again, we know the solution. We have, left to right. Da, 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 da. Okay. There's a lot of gunk in here. Like, here's our main ones. There's one. That's the contact. That's the down. That's the passing. And that's the up. So it looks very sloppy. And there's the mid pieces here. They just kind of graduate to the next one, right? But it looks very sloppy because of the design that I failed to really add on the previous project. So now I've gone ahead and just created a simple foot right here. All right, we're going to make that foot right in here, and now we can take that and bend the foot just like that. So wherever he needs to bend that toe, um, that is where it will go. And yeah, it's obviously very choppy, but that conveys the main message there. So let's see. Go back to the main pieces that we want. 1, 2, 3. See, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right. So that's going to be contact down, passing, and up. And these are the locations where the feet are going to visit. Or these are the gestures. The postures of what's the contact look like. It's the posture of what's the down look like. Posture of what's the passing look like, and there's the posture of what the up looks like. So the contact's posture should be is, let's see, let's just follow the rules here. The right foot heel is on the ground and the forefoot is in the air. Okay. The left forefoot is on the ground and the heel is in the air. So the right foot heel. So now we'll just kind of come back in here and move that accordingly. Left foot. All right, that's the entire left foot. And that means to stretch that out, it's going to be the right foot heel is on the ground. All right. Get my right foot heel on the ground. And my toe in the air. All right, where's my toe? Bada bing, almost there. It's right there. All right, there's my toe. Cool. All right. Looking better already. Wow, that looks so much better already. So now we're following, okay, right foot heel on the ground. The forefoot is in the air. Yep. Left foot, the forefoot is on the ground and the heel is in the air. Oops. Okay. The left one, that forefoot, I'm going to duplicate that. Okay. The left one, that forefoot, I'm going to duplicate that. We're going to put that on the ground. That heel will be in the air. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out and take a copy here and just move it over here. So this should be on the ground and this should be in the air. And then now, yeah, we have two separate ones. Yeah, there's a challenge of the tail kind of getting in the way because of the layer that it's on. So we need to have this. If the left leg is closer, then the everything connected to the left leg should be in front of the tail. So let's see, that's right foot. I actually have it backwards, but that's fine. Right foot heels on the ground, forefoot in the air. Left foot heels on the ground, heel in the air. Okay. Yeah, I should flip these. There we go. Let's just do the entire thing in front of the body so that we can see exactly where it's going to go. So that heel is in the air and that forefoot is on the ground. Let's see if we can do arrange. There we go. Yeah, so obviously there's a little bit of gap right there, and that can be filled in easily. So it's definitely a lot different when he's humanoid, he's human anatomical than if he were lizard anatomical. So the next one, the down, is going to be the right foot is fully on the ground, and the left toes are lifting. Okay, so let me take all of these. And this left part, I'm just going to knock that whole thing out. And paste that here. And then the toes, since the toe is going to be lifting, we'll just place it that way. And then this should be fully flat on the ground, and that's cool. And then this one would also be a straight line. Well, no. This would be more straightened out because when your toes are lifting, right between that one and that one, nice. And then we want to keep that. That vertical location consistent. So we're going between here, right here, and then right over here. Put that on the land layer. All right. So that's our reference. That's our reference right there. Horizontal. We have a vertical reference, but we could have a horizontal reference. Basically, if we got a ruler, I don't know if this one has rulers. We had some kind of a ruler. No, we don't need that. Some kind of a ruler right here vertically. We're just gonna have to memorize it. But we pull that back so that you see between that and that. Okay, cool. So the next one, and I'll get the legs in a minute. The next one will also be flat on the ground. Should it move slightly? It could. I think that's all depending on a lot of things. Or you just take that. Paste in place. There we go. And the last one, remove that one. Okay, Okay, let's go back to our plan sheet. We just did the right fully flat on the ground. We did the passing right fully flat on the ground. And now for the up, the right of 4 foot is going to be on the ground and the heel will be lifting. So that means that this one right here, right 4 foot is on the ground and the heel is lifting. That means that the heel, like the toes, we'll take the toe thing. And we won't use this one, is what that means. Basically use this one. So this first, the second, the third, the fourth. And we'll rotate it. And now we can start putting that very sophisticated version of the new foot in play. All right. Again, we gotta have we need to have a vertical reference ruler. So obviously that goes back a little too far. But also if we have the toe right here, that means the toe is way behind there. Okay, so now we got, there we go. Okay. Now these are in between. Okay. We can clean those up. Let's see. And that's just one foot, right? So let's see. I will go ahead and actually I kind of like that dance look. Sort of a that is sort of that's kind of catchy right there. Da, 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 da. Some moonwalking what do they call it? Tap dance? Yeah. Okay. Slipping on a banana. That would be a good slipping on a banana scene. Okay. All right. Let's try for the left, and then we'll go ahead and take a quick music break after that, and then we'll jump back into it. All right. Let's see. We got the right. Just do a spot check. Contact for this is just for the right. All right. We'll have to do the left in a second. We have contact right foot, heel on ground, 4 foot is in the air. The down, right foot fully on the ground. The passing, right foot fully on the ground, yes. And the up, the right foot, 4 foot is on the ground and the heel is lifting. Okay. The left foot is on the ground and the heel is in the air. Is that correct? Left foot, heel is on the ground. No, toe is 4 foot is on the ground, heels in the air. Okay, good. Left on the down, left toes are lifting to the air. So what that will mean on the second one, that means we do have that, but the alignment is a little funny. Okay, so that's another thing that could be improved. And when we think about something like that, it's like, well, that's one of those things I would say when you reflect on this, what tasks can be done to prepare for faster building or what could have done to prevent current problems? This is, the fact that it gets a little bit messy in the process, you could sort of consider that a problem because, even though art can be messy and whatnot, it doesn't mean it's, going to be poor quality. But if it does get messy enough, it gets out of control enough, it gets disorganized enough, you want to make sure that everything is secure and put tight and all that. So, that's something that could have been better prepared. But left foot lifting into the air before the knee. Okay, so what that's going to do is we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Put the leg back into place. In fact, I'll just take the whole leg thing out. And I will just take out the entire body. There we go. And maybe the arm. Where's the arms? The other arms. There's the arm. Okay. So now let's just focus on the legs here. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. 1. Where are the legs? Are right here. Okay. So I sort of think that just the alignment, his entire alignment is, needs a lot of improvement. So that's another thing. Drawing these things out beforehand will really help. I'm going to go ahead and realign this as it is. But yeah, drawing those gesture drawings would really help because it kind of maps out how the thing's going to look. There we go. So 1, 2. Now we put the legs back. And we were going to reference that base piece right there. Where is it? Land? No. We've got 2 of them, strangely. All right. All right, we're going to reference that. So that should just be coming off of that. Just like that. But then, of course, you have another need for a ruler because this is way up there. It's almost like it's right above that tip of the mountain right there. So this is further. It's just too far down, so it needs to be pulled up. There we go. So that is actually from here. No. From here to here. That is correct for the right foot. It's just wrong for the left foot. So again, let's kind of keep things clean in the process. Now, again, what was the rule? The rule was that the left foot is lifted into the air and is going before the knee. Okay, cool. So we got to put the knee back first in order to tell where that's going to be. And then if this is flat, if the right foot is flat, that means, the knee is going to be, it's going to like create like a wall, of itself. And then, so there's the knee point right there. Now we can position the foot to be able to be bent using the legs. What is with that turn? Strange. Oh, yes, because of the thing. So this is a bent knee. Okay, now let's just check this first 3. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and take out the these middle frames because we're confident enough at this point that this thing it's on the direction we want it to be. We're correcting it. We're putting it back to how it should be. And the last thing we should have to worry about is the fourth frame. And all the rest of these are just repeats. But you can see you could see that, like, when I go to these last four, so here's the first four, and that one we need the most work on. Okay, let's kind of leave it there. You know, it's kind of a funny look. Okay, when we go to the fifth one, you can see how it's that large step. Really, just making a comparison between the problem was this was the problem was his entire weight was on his toe because his toe could not no part of his foot could move. So it's good to really make a comparison to reflect on, like, well, that was the issue before. We know what we're actually fixing. So real quick, I'm going to take a 5-minute here, do some music, and then I will play this in sequence so you can kind of see it in comparison. Let me get frame rate at 10. Let me put it to 35. Okay, cool. Any questions so far on, writing up a process for this and ideas? Any ideas on, like, projects that you've worked on that you can see? Okay, I could make it better through things similar to this. Okay, this is the fourth frame. Once again, the fourth frame is right foot, forefoot on the ground, and the heel is lifting. And then the left foot is descending toward the ground, and it is in front of the knee. So the right foot, forefoot is on the ground, and the heel is lifting. Okay. Right foot, forefoot on the ground, heel is lifting. Okay, so that's the simple right here. Take that one, move it over here. One second. Something is slowing down here. Alrighty. Question. Writing up a process is foreign. Say foreign to me. I most of the time wing it or go with the flow. Yeah, I think a lot of artists and designers and producers or programmers do. And I make light plans in my head, not write them down. Yeah, I think, and so what I think is the benefit of writing down the writing of the process is, I mean, yeah, you're not going to know every single thing that's going to come up, um, but it helps you. It helps you in many things. It helps you, one, to be able to explain to somebody, hey, here's what I'm going to do. Like, let's say you wanted help with a project, and you were going to animate it, and somebody else was going to draw the backgrounds, or somebody else was going to draw the arms and the legs and stuff, and they needed to know, um, like, well, okay, what do you need in what order, type of thing, and it really helps to organize it so that everyone is on the same page. um, and yeah, it does help to have like an actual project manager and someone to say, all right, you do this, you do that, and you go ahead and do whatever. um, but when everything is written out, um, oh man, it's so smooth, because like you might wake up one day and be like, what was I working on yesterday? Where you may build something, you may build part of something, and be really into it on one evening, and then the next day or the next week, maybe you have to take a break from it. The next week you come back to it, and you're like, where was I on this? um, and so then if you got the notes, you've got that information documented, and you've got your plan, of course. Then you say, okay, yeah, that's what I was doing. That's why I have this here. That's why I put this thing over there. That's why I created two of them or three of them or whatever. Because you're really documenting your logic, um, and it's almost like you're being your own personal assistant for your project. Um, okay, so let's see. This bend, and then the left is going to be ascending. No, descending, and that means it's going to be on the other side, this way. But also, like, if you do want, or somebody does want to manage a project you're doing, you have the vision for it, um, and you have the plans for it, and someone says, okay, just tell me where I need to, how everybody needs to work together to get it done. And so there's more ability to, I guess you could say, criticize it, but critique it in terms of, like, hey, we could improve it, we could make it faster if we purchased stock graphics, or we could make it faster if we drew this in 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional, or we could make it faster if we did in 3-dimensional versus 2-dimensional. So that helps to give a presentation and an outline of what you're doing, and to be able to analyze that plan and to make the best decision for it so that the project can go as fast or as smooth as it needs to go. Okay, so that is, if you notice, that is a very big, it's like kicking a soccer ball, right? So that's where you would put the in-betweens. You would put in between here, right there, and wham, just like that. Now that is a little bit big. So I think, let's see, did it move forward? Not really. Question on, I might do make light messy up on it, but no one will understand it, for it is my own thought, which are just keywords for it. Let me see if I'm reading this correctly. There we go. I might do a light messy notes on it. Yeah. But no one will understand it. It's just my head thought, which are just words for it. Yeah. And that helps too. There's a term called something like over micromanagement or over regulation or over governing or something like that, where you're just doing you're like it's like if you're gonna bake a cake or something, I don't know, or make a sandwich. It's like you're gonna make a sandwich, and the steps to make a sandwich are, all right, put the bread on the plate, put the meat on the bread, put the vegetables on the meat, and then put the bread on top of the vegetables. But then if you say, okay, I put the bread on the plate, I'm going to make a note about plate should be, paper or ceramic or whatever. It's like, well, those kinds of it's like, well, those kinds of notes, either they're inherent or they should have already been kind of planned out. And so sometimes, like, yeah, you don't have to do every single note of everything, but just the primary things that are going to be helpful to getting the thing done, to getting the sandwich made. Let's see. So I think that let's see, but I also need right here is to make sure that this thing is yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take off the last 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the first 4. Here goes the last 4. We're up here. Let's check that out. All right. Now I'm going to put his body back in place, and we'll just kind of realign it. That was the old foot. That's the dust. There's an arm. All right. Put this down at 10 FPS. All right, let's check it out. saying this is how I kind of write. It's so horrible, no one will ever understand it. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of like doctor's notes. I don't know. I've seen, I guess there's the joke that doctor's handwriting is always hard to understand. But it makes me wonder, well, do they want the patient to know certain things or not know certain things? So right here, he's going up, and that is not intentional. Let me see how I did that. Okay. So we can throw down this thing here. Let's try it now. Oops. Part of the land goes away. All right. There we go. And the arm goes away. Oh, well. I think the next thing would have to really smooth it out is the in between for the last two, the 3 and the 4. Yeah, the size of the shoe really makes a difference on how far that stomp is going out. I wonder if let me try if I pulled it back. Let's see. If I pulled it back like that much, it would not look correct. It would look like he's slipping on oil, slipping on fossil fuel. Hold on. Let's see. Dinosaurs slipping on fossil fuel. They say doctors start with really beautiful handwriting, but as time goes on, it gets worse. Yeah, I wonder how that works. Okay, so let me put in a keyframe here. Okay, there's one for the arm, one for the right foot, one for the left foot. I will do one for both. So that means that this thing will go from here to here much faster. And there's a tool on here, but it's also just a process called onion skinning. So where we're looking at where we are currently and where we're going to go. We're going to go from here to that one. So we need to make it to where this thing begins to do the in-between. from that to the following frame. So what I'll do, I think I'm seeing another solution here, or another reason to kind of explain that, you know, it doesn't actually have to be that far. Because this is very much dependent on where that piece right there is bending, or it's taking that heel, right? It should not take the heel that far into space, essentially, you know. So let me clean this up. Okay. So now I got my heel coming down here, right there at that little shoe corner. I'm going to put this in the front. I want to keep that right there in the front. Okay. And then attaching, you know, that lower leg to the upper leg. I think that really, yeah, it doesn't have to go that far. So it's one of those things, it's like, if we can save you money, we will find a way to save you money. Okay, so then you're going from this one to the next one. If we can save space, we'll find a way to save space. Or no, the logic, if we can find a way to save space, we will save space. Yeah. So I gotta wonder, is that saving? Okay, now for the body. Whoops. Okay. Should be back one. Cool. This whole area should not be on that layer. but instead it should be on this layer. There we go. And this one is on the wrong layer too. Let's see. All right, let's check it out. That is a lot more. Is a lot more smooth in terms of like accuracy and walk. His feet are still funny, aside from being chopped up. His feet are still funny in size, just because they're so large. But I think it's something to look out for, like in the design of this. Like if we think about, well, okay, we're following the basic rules. We got the contact, we got the down, the passing, the up. Yeah, we're getting them from left to right. We're on the way to left to right. Um, we've followed those rules, the contact, the process formula, contact down, passing up. Okay. Are there errors? Well, errors in terms of physical accuracy, not really. Design wise, I think is the only, like, feet are too large. But the stating that the feet are too large right here, that the evidence or the reason is they're too large, defined too large, is that he's unable to bend correctly upon contact with the ground. That was the previous version. Now this one, he is actually able to bend, but it does look funny. It still looks a little funny. Well, do we research solutions? Yes, we created toes for bending out of the foot contact. Created toes for bending of the foot, when it contacts. And did we test the solution? Yes, we've put those in the main keyframes and then deploy the project. But does it meet the basic needs? I think it meets the basic needs. Are there? Let's see, what tasks can be done to prepare for faster? Definitely redrawing and redesigning, and basically doing everything here in a test format before going into like really animating it, because you can see that during animation, it's really what causes it. I think what causes kind of the lack of realism, aside from being a big dinosaur, is that the design of the feet do not allow for as much movement and much, kind of versatility as they could if the feet were smaller. So, there's different ways that you could look at that, like regular dinosaur feet, regular lizard feet, two-footed standing animals, kangaroo, whatever. They're going to have a specific way of walking, and you want to follow that if you want physical accuracy. But if we're doing sort of a comedy anthropomorphic thing, we have to say this is almost like Goofy, Disney. We have to say, well, this is how it will look if we do big fat feet, big floppy clown feet. So that really helps you determine the design of something like this. Is it played out like this uh, by using design of big floppy feet? Um, so there's different directions you could take it. Do you want to make the legs longer? Do you want to make the body different shape? Um, just different outcomes that you'll get um, based on just the design alone. So, alrighty, I will wrap it up here, and I'll just kind of go nuts on whatever else I can think of next 5 minutes or so. Um, it's got a nice dance. The arm was off on that one. Let's see. Arm here. And that. Okay. Da, 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 da. Maybe if I take this one and I wanted to follow the laws of repeats, right? Like the laws of repeating, like, okay, the arm, leave that alone, the right foot, put that one there, put the character body, put that over here, put that here, and there. Wait, no, there. And then instead, just move them over. Okay, I'm going to use the same rules. Got that healer right there. That healer right there. Well, now we know what it looks like to have anthropomorphic human legs on a dinosaur. I think I prefer the stomping, but the tennis shoe style is it's kind of funny. Um, I'll go ahead and export this and put it onto Discord. Let me see if I can do a quick back and forth here, and then I'll export it. Oops. And that is the crash. Oh, well. Well, it's crashed. Maybe that's time to wrap it up here. Okay, I'll go ahead and export that and throw onto Discord, and can have a nice GIF. We can see how it is. But I think that this, again, we meet the goal, right? We got him to move from left to right of the screen. We planned out the process. We created those main primary keys: contact, down, pass, up, right? And there's a placement and positioning for each of those. We use the build process, the layers in Adobe Animate. Check for errors. That could be subjective. It's like, what's an error? But the problem was we could not bend correctly. And now it's like it's not that's no longer a problem. But now I think it's just a matter of design, and so now it's more of a subjective thing. It doesn't look as dinosaurish, or it doesn't look as stompy. It looks just more kind of like a person with big clown sneakers. And hey, while that meets the criteria, it's not artistically. Let's see, is that a problem? Not as artistically hilarious, right? Feet. Let's see. Sneakers. Do not let it be as funny with normal sized legs. I would make a note. I would use that as a note just to say, this is a design thing. We got it to technically work, but design wise, it could be funnier, I think. So, maybe does that say, all right, find another solution, make bigger feet, make fatter dino sneakers, possibly make normal reptilian feet, possibly. So those are other solutions you could say to make it more artistically hilarious, if that's the goal. But the most basic goal is it's a very dry goal. Make them from left to right. So really, the goal could or should be, when you plan this out, make a comical walk, or make a comical, what's the word? Style walk. Okay. It's like you're going to head out. Yeah, I'll go ahead and post this thing to Discord, and I think we've come a good way to learn a good amount of animation design, and then test the solution and repeat. All right. Well, thanks for coming by, and I'll see you on in the game, or we're on the Discord. All right. Take it easy.